What's up, ZTR fam? So let's do the follow up on the post yesterday that I made with the two dogs A and B, and what y'all thought which one was worth 6,500. Now it's I do everything with a reason. Just don't be doing shit just to be doing shit. So I got my iPad right here, so we'll be able to see the pictures as I talk. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I got it set up for the aspect ratio 16:9 because I'm going to put it on YouTube. Hopefully it ain't that too long and we can get straight to the point. But it was interesting to see some of y'all's comments. And so we're going to talk about it. And then I'm going to make my point, and the point that I'm always trying to make. So the question was, let me get the pictures out. So the question was, which one of these dogs is worth 6,500? And you tell me why. And I'll tell you where these pictures came from. Picture B came from the internet. I just pulled it off the internet and I searched for a dog that had a bunch of damn titles. That's all I wanted. I just wanted a dog with a bunch of titles. Because that's the thing. Everybody want a dog with titles, right? Everybody want a puppy that comes from a family that has titles. This dog's parents are grand champions. And if you don't know what a grand champion is, look it up. But it basically means that the dog's been pretty much kicking ass since it's been in the dog game. And then the puppy itself is on its way to be a grand champion, but it has broken records, as is one of the first dogs in Australia to win a championship, not win a championship, but win a singular show or something like that. I don't know. It's very, very high end. It's like winning the NBA championship, the NFL, Super Bowl, all that type of stuff. It's top notch. Now the main thing ain't about the 6,500. But I wanted to make a point by that. For me, 6,500, it's my personal opinion on what a person charges for their dogs is based on whatever they decide to charge for their dogs. My big thing, it has to do with supply and demand. If I got a lot of puppies, and not enough customers, of course the prices would come down. If I got a lot of customers and not enough puppies, then the price is going to be high. That's what it is. Because of the supply and demand. We're not doing this just for the heck of it. It's a lot of work those of you that don't own dogs, or those of you that don't have kennels, it's a lot of work to go into this. And you think that $3,500 for a dog that you may keep 14 years. Matter of fact, let's do the math on it. Let's talk about the math on it too. I'm probably not going to put this on Facebook because it's going to be too long to go on Facebook. I'll probably do two versions, but let's do the math right quick, y'all. So if you take a $3,500 dog, all right, let me get my calculator if I find it real quick. I got so many damn apps. Boy, I used to be quick to find in Safari. So here's the calculator. So you take a $3,500 dog, okay? And this is how you should do the math. It's not what you have to do. This is how I look at it. Even with my females and my older dogs and my younger dogs that I'm selling, this is how I look at it. So you take a $3,500 dog, and the dog, on average, they live 10 to 12 years. I done had one go up to about 14 years. Okay, so we're going to say 10 years. Okay, we're going to say 10 years. So we're going to divide 3,500 by 10, and what do you get? For $350 a year, you can get one of these good old Rottweilers. How many times do you spend $350 a year? How often? Probably every month, 6 or 7, probably 20 times. Your light bill, your car note, your house, your kids, AAU, shoes, for $350 a year for 10 years. If you couldn't do the math, I done it for you. You can have you a Rottweiler from my kennel. Now, let's do 6,500. Y'all know the math. Basic $650 a year. That's the way you got to look at it. Of course, you pay it all up front, but at the same time, the breeder has to use those expenses to cover everything throughout the years. But basically, when you divide it out, you're getting a product that's going to cost you no less than $350 a year for 10 years. A year. We ain't talking about a month or a week. We're talking about a year. So $300, $3,500, $2,500. $1,500. That's not a lot of money. You're talking about $150 a month. $150 a month for 10 years. Who really winning in this? Is it the customer or is it the breeder? So, all right, moving on. We're not going to even touch on that, but that's what. So, let me give you another example. I'm trying to move along real quick, but I'm talking fast. I know. Just bear with me. I'm just making some points. One day, like, so my females, my older females, sometimes I sell my older females. So sometimes people approach you and want to buy an older female from you thinking that they'll get a deal. And they come to find out that the older dogs are usually more expensive than the puppies, especially if they plan on breeding or if the puppies are in the range of, the puppies are in the range of the breeding age. So they thinking they're going to get a deal because you stuck with the dog. Oh, you want to get rid of it. That's not how it works. I had to teach this to a couple people. If you take a breeding age female, she's 2 years old, and say she can breed from the ages 2 to 6. So that's 4 years. That's just 4 years. She can have 2 litters each. 2 litters each, okay? 2 litters each. So 2 times 4 is 8, right? 2 times 4 is 8. So she'll have 8. Am I doing that right? I know I'm doing it right, but I'm not saying the right thing. So she'll have 8 litters over the course of her breeding phase from ages 2 to 6, 8 litters. Now, just say she only have 4 puppies, okay? 4 puppies, just 4 puppies in each one of them. So 4 times 8 is what? 32. That's 32. 4 times 8, yeah, 4 times 8 is 32. That's 32 puppies. Multiply 32 puppies times the price of what you charge your puppies for. So let's give y'all some examples. 34 times 3,500. How much money is that? $119,000. Man, shut your $119,000 with the bare minimum. Let's do it again. Let's do it at 1,500, okay, y'all? And then we talking about somebody that's breeding a female back to back every time for 4 straight years, twice a year for 4 straight years. And a lot of us don't even do that. I got females over here that I didn't even start breeding until they were 3. But let's look at that. Let's look at the math, man. Y'all got to look at the big picture, way out yonder. Don't bring it back in so close where you thinking you're getting some money, you're gonna run with this stuff. Let's do 1,500 times. What was it? 1,500 times 30 times. We said 8 litters. 15 here, 32. So 32 puppies. 32 puppies out of 8 litters. Because we only did 4 or 8, whichever one. Yeah, we only did 4 puppies each, right? Times 32. That's 48,000 for 4 years. Let's break that down by the year. Divided by 4 equals 12,000 a year. 12,000 a year, man. 12,000 a year. That's a good side hustle if you do it right. But we ain't even talking about expenses, and we're not going to even go down that alley, okay? So we're not even going to go down there. So that's an importance in itself. All right. So 6,500 is really, I don't care about what you charge for your dogs. That's not the big deal. The big deal is that y'all get hung up on these words that these guys be trying to use to motivate and influence you to buy from them. So they use words like integrity. They use words like morals and ethics. I want y'all to do yourselves a favor and go look that up. Stop hearing that when a breeder talks about it, because other people use that word in other fields and other careers and other atmospheres or whatever. But when my counterparts use the word, they use it as a selling point. And half of them don't even know what it means. I'm just being honest with you, because if they knew what it means, they wouldn't use ethical and morals or morals in the same sentence. Okay? I'm just saying. Go look it up, and I'm going to leave it at that. All right, so back to the video. Back to the point at hand. So remember, I posted this picture yesterday. I posted that picture yesterday, right? And I posted on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, right? And I asked y'all, I said, which one of these dogs you think is $6,500? And here, let me read you some of the comments. Man. This shit was good. I ain't gonna lie to you. And they still come in. You know, man, it's crazy. Ain't it crazy how drama and sex sells? Like, I post a lot. Probably 5 or 6 times a day. But the only ones that really get any kind of attention is the ones that's kind of somewhat negative. But we're going to use this as a teaching point, okay? And so, comments, let me put them in order, not by most relevant. We're going to do all comments down at the bottom. All comments. All right, starting for the top. Mr. Xavier says neither one. Mr. Rice says B. B being here. I'll just hold it up so y'all can see it. Mr. Xavier says B. Mrs. Sherry says B, but would like to see them both in equal poses. Pictures can be fooling. And that's a lesson in itself, man. Depending on how somebody posts a picture can make a dog look a certain way. So y'all don't get fooled by just getting these still shots. I remember when I first started buying dogs, it was the same thing. I used to get pictures all the time. So that's why one of the reasons why we post videos, and we got over 600 and something videos on YouTube. So y'all make sure y'all go check us out. But that's why, again, she said that pictures can be deceiving. Y'all ever heard a picture can paint 1,000 words? Okay. Well, that's exactly what that means. Our minds see something and then we'll fill in the rest. Okay. Well, hold on. I ain't got that. Let's keep reading. Mr. Caesar says, B, he a nice dog. I don't think so. That's my boy. I like me and Caesar was on the same. We got 2 dogs from a top dog like B out of Germany, TK's New Yorkers. And I don't agree with him. I don't think B is a nice dog. I could see B any day of the week and I'll walk right past him other than the fact that I say, hey, that's a Rottweiler. That's about all I say. Okay. Now let me cover my grounds now. A definitely ain't worth $6,500 to me. At the most, it's probably worth the $3,500, $1,500 dog. Okay, maybe, and that's just based on how popular the kennel is. I'm just saying because, anyways, I'm not gonna go into that. Let's keep it PG-13. The dog, I'm not attracted to the dog at all. Either one of them, to be honest with you. B is a cleaner dog, but I'm not attracted to either one. Mrs. Thrash says, I love a size, but not the hair type. So if you can see on A is a more shaggy dog. It's wet, meaning it's got a lot of wrinkles. My dogs have wrinkles. A has a lot of shag, a lot of extra hair. And I do have some with some longer hair. Of course, y'all know that Rottweilers have different coats. The one on the bottom, B, perfect example. B has a more shorter coat. A has a longer coat. Okay, moving on. Let's see. Ivan, Miss Rodriguez says, generally, no idea. B's face looks puggy to me. I wouldn't buy him. Based on the side profile, I think A is probably cuter. I think that's what she's trying to say. She says cutter, but cuter looks like I'll buy him. So she chose A. Now, it's all went back and forth, and it's a lot of them, man. It's over, I think it's 75 comments on here. It's over 75 comments. Mr. Rucker says, is one of them pregnant? 6,500? High, man. He's saying, that's high, man. I ain't going to be able to do it. What guarantee it got? So what Mr. Rucker is saying, and Mr. Rucker is a breeder himself, Mr. Rucker is saying $6,500 for either one of them dogs and either one of them pregnant. That's about the price you'll pay for an imported female. You can get an imported female with puppies for $2,500 to $3,000 American money. And then you're going to have to pay an extra $2,000 for shipping. So if it wasn't for the shipping, you can get a pregnant dog for just about any champion overseas, and get a pregnant female and get puppies off of it. And then you pretty much can sell the puppies if you got a following or you know how to sell stuff. You can get those puppies sold in at $1,500 a piece times 5. Do the math on that. You pretty much paid for the puppy and shipping yourself just off of the letter and still made some money. That used to be a hustle. Not one that I use, but it's one that some people, of course, I hate saying the B word, man. The breeders, some breeders were using, and they were saying that they were using that. They were calling everybody else a puppy mill, but they basically buy a female pregnant, sell a female after they sold all the puppies and not keep nothing and just do rinse and repeat and do the same thing over and over and over and over. Like Marshawn Lynch said, over and 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 over again. So don't fall for that shit neither. They'll call you a puppy mill. They'll talk about everybody else just using those 3 words again. Everybody say with me: ethics, morale, and integrity. They'll use those same words to call people like me and a couple other new people at the time, telling us that we don't have any of that and we puppy mills, when they actually just making money off the female, the mama is selling them. Anyways, now here's one of my favorites. Miss Darley says A has a partially wet look, which it does. And then she says B has his rear head behind the handler, so probably high in the rear with bad rear angulation. This suggests that a dog with political titles. She said political, and Miss Darley is one of my favorites. She don't just say shit just to say it, okay? She said that the handler is hiding the dog's back end to kind of hide the rear. And she says this suggests a dog with political titles and being oversold by its breeder. She keeps it real 100. And I'm going to tell you something about Miss Darley. Mrs. Darley has over 50 dogs. Probably more than that. I don't know. She had about 50 dogs, 50 Rottweilers, and she uses them overseas. Like, she has handlers that handle her dogs overseas for her. And she's done title and champion plenty of dogs. And guess how much Darley sells her puppies for? About $2,500 last time I checked. So, moving along. Mr. Mazur says definitely not A. He says B. So you get the guys that kind of, most of the breeders recognize what's going on. And for those who don't know, that top dog is from a YouTube Rottweiler. Okay. Y'all know who we call him, Bob. And that's all I'm going to say. That comes from Bob's kennel. And I did that for a reason. Bob sells his puppies for $6,500 last time I heard. That dog up there is one of his males. And then the dog on the bottom is a champion dog with a bunch of titles, a whole bunch of titles. And I'll help you and I'll name them off here in a minute. Let's see. We got Curious George. Somebody says A. Somebody says Devontae, he recognized, he say A looks like Bob's dog. Y'all think I'm making this shit up? Look at what Devontae says. Devontae says A looks like Bob's dog, which is $6,500, is a show dog. He said A is a, let me read, I can't read it backwards. A looks like Bob's dog, which is $6,500. B looks like a show dog. So Devontae recognizes that the dog belongs to Bob Kennels in South Texas. Maurice Pollock says B, of course. You can see the markings of the show and the dog in correct places. So he obviously understands standards and stuff like that and show qualifications because he recognized that. Now, so I can keep reading, but I'm not. Yeah. So the point. So I'm just gonna keep going. So getting away from that. Let me show y'all some pictures of the dogs. Let me show you some pictures of the dogs. So here's A. Here's B. I mean, that's B. This is B. Okay, that's B. There's B again. I know I got all these pictures on here. Come on, baby. There we go. And there's old. You can tell the difference in the dog. Now this dog has been trained to stand. Okay, this dog has been trained to stand. This one ain't. This dog hasn't, and you can tell the difference. Okay, now I can't tell you that this dog will look anything like. I don't like this dog. He's what most Americans that want dogs won't. Most Americans don't want show dogs, and that was one of the points I'm gonna make. So 2 points. 2 points that I want to point out is that this dog, the reason why I put Bob's dog up there is because most of you guys, whether you're breeders or not breeders, don't like Bob, and you really starting to get away from his dogs, which I understand. We all used to like that look. Before we got educated and we seen that this dog does not hold a $6,500 value. But this dog, so I chose him because I didn't want to put my dog up there and y'all be biased towards me and you know, trying to make me feel good about my animals. So I put his dog up there to make a point. All right. So this dog, most of y'all will walk past all day, not even recognize it. Man, we even had people in the comments saying that dog was an American Rottweiler. So it's definitely, they chose the other dog because simply this is an American Rottweiler based off of what it looked, not knowing anything behind it. So I'm gonna keep on going. I think I got a couple more pictures. I don't know how to use an iPad, man, just for when I'm flying. That's about the only way. And I don't think I got any more pictures in here. That's a damn shame if it ain't. Yeah, so here's some titles. Y'all think I'm lying. I know nothing about this dog. I just did a Google search, 2017. Here's what this dog is. Let me read some of this stuff. The dog name is Grand Champion. Schwarzerhound Taylor's Grand Champion. He has a Grand Champion title from Best in Show. He's CAC IB in Australia. He's graded excellent, multi-best and group winner, multi-class and group winner, 2017 RCSA Top Dog Trophy winner, and a whole bunch of other shit. Like the list goes on. Like y'all, the stuff that I'm naming to you, none of y'all even know what this stuff means. None of y'all even know what this stuff means. I don't even know what a lot of it means, and really don't care unless I just don't have anything to do and I want to kind of, because I step into the show ring and kind of cares about what them guys do. But look at this dog. Look at that dog there, man. It is nothing attractive about that Rottweiler to me. But the consumer has been taught to, I want a dog with titles. This dog, mama and daddy, got titles. Both of them. I think both of them are grand champions, just like the puppy itself. Let's read some more. Look at him. Now, the dog is structurally sound. I give you that. But imagine, let me let y'all look at it. Look at it real good. Look at it real good. The dog, look at the back, how straight the back is. Look at the legs, the angularity. Some of y'all don't even know what I'm talking about. And I half-ass know what I'm talking about. And you probably can tell. But look at the dog. Not attractive I'm not attracted to the dog. But this dog has a ton of titles. Like it's the accomplishments that this dog has, you can equal it to something of Michael Jordan winning 5 or 6 rings. This dog is broken records, and it's one of the first dogs in Australia to do it. Now, this was back in 2017. I'm pretty sure it's probably only 1 or 2 of you that's watching this video or that's posted in the thread that even seen this dog, that's familiar with this dog. Again, here's another picture of him. Nothing special. Looks little, no weight. We all like different stuff, right? And last picture, and then I get back to my point. That's it. I'm gonna leave it alone after that, I think. Let's see. That's it. Okay, I'm gonna leave it alone. Now, back to the point that I was trying to make. Y'all gotta stop letting people say they got Ferraris and Lamborghinis and everybody else got Ford Pintos. Hell, y'all couldn't even tell the difference. Unless you hear the person talking and then you look in the background and see what he got and you associate everything with what he got is a Ferrari or Lamborghini when that motherfucker is barely a car. Yeah, you understand? I don't even know how to put it. Anyways, it's a difference in show dogs, and it's a difference in work dogs. It's a difference in family pets. Family pets is not a bad thing. Like people try and use that's an American Rottweiler. They try and use that and say that American Rottweilers are bad Rottweilers. That's not the case. That's not the case. Look at my kennel. My whole kennel is based on American and Italian Rottweilers. Okay, so in the combination of the two, most people come to my kennel for the American Rottweilers. I've had a dog named Alessio, the wolf that y'all seen. Most of y'all that follow seen this dog. I kept him for 6 months, and I did a breeding with him for myself, and I was supposed to get him set up to do some breedings with other people in the United States. And then he was going to do a show at the end of the 6 months that he stayed with me. And I got videos on YouTube of the owner coming over here, staying with me. He done that twice. He's came 3 times. He stayed with us twice. And Alessio is a bad dog. He's a bad dog, but he built different. And when I say built different, I'm talking about he is designed for show. What I noticed almost off the top, and check this, man, there's so much to it. What I noticed off the top, he couldn't run. It wasn't just his running, like it was different from when you see a dog that's running all the time. He didn't know his feet. He didn't know how big he was. When he got on an open space, it was he just wasn't it just wasn't what you probably, somebody that plays with their dog often would expect to see, especially from a dog with so many titles. That dog has titles in 5 different countries, include Italy, Germany, and some other places. And I may be wrong about the places, but it ain't hard to find information where you can't go look it up yourself. Um, so we got a bunch of titles, and like I said, I can't even name them. I don't care nothing about that stuff. Um, but he comes to Little Bitty old Arkansas, does a show. Now remember, this dog has won titles in all over the world. The owner travels. I don't even see how he do it, but he's a doctor, so he has money, a little money, but he spends a lot of money traveling around the world just to show that dog. And I'm talking about like how some of y'all go to football practice and AAU tournaments and baseballs and football and stuff like that. This is what he does with his dog. Every weekend he's at a show with his dog, getting points. We'll talk about points later. But he come to Little Bitty Searcy, Arkansas, and didn't even place. They didn't even look at him. We talking about local dogs. Didn't even place. And back to what Miss Darley said, that show you how political this stuff is. You got a dog that's done competed all around the world. And then you got dogs that show up in Searcy, Arkansas. Now, it was other dogs there that were, I think I ain't gonna say how many because I don't specifically know, but it was other dogs there that were from other countries. But the majority of them was from the local clubs between here and Texas. I think it's the Southern Club. And I'm pretty sure one of them guys will get in here and correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, he didn't even place. So that right there kind of, that turned me off because the dog is exceptional. If you've seen him, if you don't believe me, I guarantee you 90% of you will go over to the YouTube page or go look at some of his pictures and you'll be like, that is an incredible dog. I have never heard nobody say nothing bad about him until he made it to that show and they didn't like him. That shit is crazy. The other point that I wanted to make about that is that, so I kept Alessio and I would advertise Alessio so people could get the potential, show interest in wanting to breed with him. They would get on the page from Alessio for the promotion that I was running for Alessio and then keep on scrolling down after they see Alessio's pictures to kind of check us out to see what our kennel was about. And what they would notice, they would see Dallas and Diesel. And they forget about Alessio. Dallas and Diesel are just 2 basic yard dogs. Nothing special about them. I'm just keeping it 100% with you. There's nothing special about it. And I tell you that. People know when they call me, I tell them that they get to asking about blood and all that type of stuff. They're like, man, there's nothing special about these dogs. They just 2 well-bred dogs together that look great. And that's what got your interest. It wasn't what was in the paperwork. It was what's in your what you seen with your eyes that got your attention. So if you don't, and I don't be mean with it, but if you don't like that, then I can kind of point you in a direction. Cause I got some guys that I'll point to if somebody is interested in that title stuff and all that, cause I know people that do that and I'll point them in that direction. But I'll tell you real quick, my dogs don't have that. Most of y'all that's bought a dog from us, y'all can vouch for that. Y'all know that we don't promote that type of stuff. Now with the Italian line, yeah, that stuff was implemented and we started to get that and it's starting to show in our dogs. But prior to that, we didn't. But so, like I said, they would come to see Alessio and they would end up wanting to get a dog off of Dallas or Diesel. And I mean, they would want to. They would pay their money and they would wait, even though I was breeding Alessio at the time. So I don't want y'all. I want y'all to when you searching for a dog, don't fall for those words that people use to try and incite you to get a puppy from them. Hollering about quality. What's quality? When somebody say quality, ask them to explain what quality is. And I'm talking to anybody from a handler to a breeder to whoever that's dealing with you when you're thinking about buying a dog or somebody's trying to sell a dog to you. Ask them what is divine quality for you. And then if you really want to stump them, they're not going to be ready for it. They might be if they watch this video and have something prepared to say. That's what I advise y'all to do. But what if they ask you, ask them what does ethics mean? Ethical. Or what does moral mean? Or morals? Or what does integrity mean? And see how far you get. Watch them stumble over there. They're not going to take the time to look it up. Some of them might, but they're not going to take the time to look it up. Tell them stop using these words to try and hook you on something. Remember, you went to that kennel because of what you've seen. Make sure that the breeder is doing stuff Make sure that the breeder is breeding dogs or doing with the dogs what you think you might do with the dogs. Don't buy from don't look for a breeder that uses work dogs and think you're gonna turn it into a family pet. That stuff is gonna roll down in the bloodline. And you're gonna think you're just gonna be sitting around Sunday with the dog sitting in your lap, playing with your kids. It's not gonna work like that. That dog, you're gonna be wanting to sit on the couch Sunday, but the dog is wanting to be getting outside. And if you don't get outside, he probably gonna tear a hole in your couch, eat your drywall off your walls, and maybe even bite one of your kids because the parents have been bred to produce something that does the same thing. Then you got those dogs that are show dogs. Show dogs are a little bit different in the sense that you can teach any dog. You can teach any dog. You can teach any dog to stand a certain way. Those guys are working with them dogs probably 15 to 20 minutes at a time, probably 2 or 3 times a day. Teaching the dog how to stand all the way from about 9 weeks until they start competing. I don't know how early they compete, but I've seen them compete as early as I think 6 months. And I want to say earlier, but I'm going to play the safe side and say 6 months. You can teach a dog to stand a certain way, but in a beauty pageant, stop saying dog show and say beauty pageant and imagine an individual judging women in a beauty pageant. All right. The judge himself or the 3 judges are looking for specific things, right? Specific things. And if they're not there, then points are deducted. So judges in the dog show arena are looking for specific things. And if they're not there, then the points are deducted. But here's the catch to it. 2 things. One, what I like, my own son might not even like. And both of us could be qualified to be a judge. So it's subjective or objective, whichever one of the words it is that basically it's the opinion of the person. It's in the eyes of the beholder. The beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. And then you got that whole man thing that comes into play. A man can get influenced many ways. And that's what Ms. Darley said by political. People can get motivated for any reason, whether the judge could be friends with the handler or the owner of the dog. The judge could have got paid. Shit. I mean, come on, y'all, let's keep it real. But y'all get caught up again. Or we all get caught up because, well, I ain't never really cared about no champion lines. Probably when I was like 12, when I first got my first Rottweiler and I was hearing champion lines. Nowadays, that don't mean anything. I ain't gonna say it don't mean anything, but those dogs have been trained to stand in a certain way. Now, it is a breeding portion to it. I don't want to water it down and say that them guys don't work hard at what they do, but don't let them roll over into you. Like if you see a breeder in say Middletown, Chicago, that's right down the street from you, and he has what you consider is a nice looking Rottweiler but everybody else around you think it's trash. And then you got these breeders and handlers saying that dog don't meet standards. Don't listen to that. The objective is to get the dog in a home where it's going to be in a family that loves the dog and the dog fits the family. All these dogs ain't meant to go the same place. Okay. And we can go on and on about that, but I'm going to keep pushing. But I just thought it was funny. And I knew I was going to prove a point. One, neither the price of the dog ain't based on the dog. It's based on what the customer is willing to pay. All right. Like I said, a lot of y'all don't like Bob's dogs. I don't care for Bob's dogs. I just don't know if it's the well-keptness or what, but they not attractive at all. But they go on for $6,500. And then you got a dog that has hundreds of titles, or let's say 50s of titles or whatever you want to say, but y'all didn't even recognize it. And then the only thing that y'all really associated, well, the only people that was really catching it was breeders or people that was familiar with the breed. It wasn't just a general customer, somebody that's looking for a dog, somebody that just like Rottweilers. They would call a dog an American Rottweiler, which is funny. The dog has a ton of titles, and his parents have titles, and like the best of the titles, grand champions. Y'all, you got champions, and then you got grand champions. There's a whole nother level to it. But So I hope that y'all learn something from that. I don't think y'all gonna hear that shit. Keep buying what you buy. It is what it is. It ain't about the price of the dog, but y'all stop letting people get into your head and trying to influence you to move either way. Y'all seen it. LT from PRK, he bought dogs from me, Bob, Proctor House, and this dude named K.O. Kennels, which I'm not real familiar with. And a breeder got in his head and had him, after he spent $30,000 for all these dogs, he got him up to about close to breeding age, 1.5, 2, 3. And then he changed Mr. Taylor's mind. And Taylor told me, he was like, yeah, man. He called me Z. He said, yeah, man, Z. I let them talk me into it, man. I let them talk to me into it. But I see what I like now. So now he does understand what he's like, what he likes and what he's looking for. So you should do that too. Before you start purchasing, make sure you understand what you like and what you look for. Don't just go look at one person because they got 300,000 followers, 100,000 followers. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for the okie doke. Because they bullshitting you. I'm telling you, they bullshitting you. They bullshitting you. You ask them what quality means to them. And so, what does quality mean to them, man? Look at that shit and ask them, what does quality mean to them? I ain't never seen nothing dusty and whoo, man, we're not gonna even get on that. Just do Google searches. The people that y'all think are hating on certain kennels, on Bob's kennels, are not hating on them. It's only the Tonys, those are his followers. It's only the Tonys that hadn't bought dogs that don't have a problem with them. All the people that's bought dogs and all the people that this ain't even supposed to be about that shit. But anyway, all the people that bought dogs that have problems, that shit get hid. He washes it real good. And the people that y'all see commenting on them, they not hating. Like Larry not hating. Larry, honest God, true. What happened. Same thing with Mr. Malcolm. Same thing happened. Malcolm lost $40,000 behind a dog that he waited 3 years for, that he paid $35,000 to $5,000 for. He lost $40,000 behind that. Probably a little bit closer to 50 because of the vet bills and everything they had to pay. But he brought a dog home with parvo and it killed everything in his house. He had a litter of puppies. He had a litter of puppies that caught parvo. And y'all, the first thing everybody say, why would you bring a new dog around your house? Of course, yeah, we all quarantine, but parvo is a strong ass disease and it can travel and move around any kind of way. So I probably wouldn't have done it and brought the dogs. But at the same time, this man been waiting 3 years. He been waiting 3 years to get a dog from this man. And so what does he do? So even if he kept the dog in another room in the house, that disease could still travel through the house numerous ways. Say he went and touched the sick puppy, washed his hands, but he had it on his shirt, and then he leans over to go get the puppies to get his cane corsos that he had. And for whatever reason, the puppy was burping or whatever, he just brought it close to his shirt. Now this puppy got it, and then he sticks the puppy back in there. And that's not even a well thought of example, but it simply can happen. Man, when you quarantine something, that could get extremely hard. Matter of fact, we're not even going to go into that, but it could get extremely hard. But anyway, it wasn't the fact that the parvo killed his dogs, which is bad, but it's what he did after it. It took a lot. I seen all the text messages and stuff. It took a lot for him to get his money back. Some threats and all that type of stuff. And then some of the responses that he got out of the guy. He was like, "You didn't get the parvo for me." And that's, if anybody that knows how parvo works, the parvo has to be in the dog a couple of days before they even show up on a test. So the boy got the dog on Saturday. Monday, he went to go get a test, and the parvo showed up the first day. So obviously, the puppy already had the parvo in him a couple of days. And I think the period that it has to be in there is 7 days before. It's kind of like COVID. You can have it and don't even know you have it. It just don't start showing up until later on. So for him to say that the dog, that he didn't get the parvo from there, when it was known that Parvo was coming out of that kennel at the time a lot, that he really wasn't. He should have responded better. All right, whatever you want to do, that's what he did. I wouldn't have responded like that. All right, but anyways, so that's that video. Y'all got any questions? 501-414-1219. Y'all stop falling for the okie doke, man. I hope I got everything out that I wanted to talk about. Until next time, see to y'all.